Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We meet again during our virtual classroom. InsyaAllah, today we are going to focus on the new topic taken from Unit 2, Fact or Fiction, as stated in page 22 in your textbook. Okay, so let's begin the lesson. Okay, before we start, this is the lesson objective, okay, or what will you learn throughout the unit. What will you learn throughout the topic? That is the grammar. In this lesson, you will learn or revise the past simple or regular and irregular verbs. This I will explain in detail. Next, you are going to use the past simple with the time expressions with ago. Okay. Next, let's take a look on what is the definition or the explanation for regular and irregular verbs. Regular biasa, irregular kurang biasa ataupun tidak biasa, extraordinary. Okay, let's take a look on the definition for regular first. Majority of verbs that follow the same pattern and create the past simple and the past participle using the same word ending et are called regular verbs. Okay, let's take a look on the example. Okay, I give you an example of words from the base word of answer. This we usually use during our present tense. I answer the question quickly. Okay, that is as simple as that. But when we turn it into a past tense, okay, it became answered with ed at the end of the word. Next, for the past participle or past perfect tense, again, it is still the same word of answered as in a past tense, but with an additional word before the word answered is had answered. It means it's already in the past. Okay, the events is already happened. Okay. Next, take a look on the definition for irregular verbs. The verbs that does not follow the same pattern of using ed at the end of the words to make the past tense or the past participle form are called irregular verbs. For example, drink. In the past tense also drank, but in past participle it calls as in drunk. Okay, drink, drank, drunk. Another example of irregular verbs: swim, swam, and swam. Okay, let me share you a little bit or some words to show on the different shades or to differentiate between regular and irregular verb. This is the list of regular and irregular verbs. Okay, there are about 19 words as you can see. Okay, accept, accepted, accepted. Okay, the left is for regular verb and in the right is the irregular verbs. So we can make use of this word, okay, when we are writing a sentence. Okay. Next, let's begin with the activity. Activity number 1 as shown in the textbook. Okay, on page 22, look at the affirmative examples of the past simple in the table. Which verb is regular and which is irregular? Okay, here is the table, but let's focus on the affirmative table only. This one. She finished the novel in 19 days. Okay, she wrote the novel on a phone. What do you think the first one? Is it regular or irregular? Yes. Okay, the first one is a regular verb. Finished. Okay, with the ed at the end of the word. Next, wrote. Yes, it is irregular verb. Okay, next, activity number 2. How do we form the affirmative past simple tense of regular verbs? Macam mana kita bina, kan, ayat yang positif menggunakan regular verb dalam past simple tense. Okay, we form the affirmative past simple tense of regular verbs by adding ed. For example, accept, achieve, add, allow, boil, and behave. As in, accepted, achieved, added, allowed, boil, and behave. Good. Next, exercise number 3. Complete the rules. Lengkapkan peraturan ini. A. To make negative past simple sentences, untuk membina ayat past simple yang negatif, we use apa? Followed by the infinitive form of the verb. Infinitive bermaksud perkataan asal, infinite, yang tepat. Okay, so to make negative past simple sentences, we use didn't. Okay, but in Malaysia, we typically pronounce it as in did not. But make it possible, okay, and make it regular by saying it as in didn't. Okay, next, B. We begin questions in the past simple tense with did. Question, kita membina soalan dalam past simple menggunakan perkataan did. Okay, tak faham juga? Take a look at the example below. Okay. Didn't like, didn't see, didn't write. Okay, next, did you like, did you write? And okay, these are the words that we use to form the negative past simple sentences, and this one we use to form the questions in the past simple tense. Notice or not, the verb is still in the present tense. Okay, you don't have to put ed, or you don't have to change on the form of the words into the past tense or any past participle when we already use the infinite form of did not or did. Okay. Next, activity number 4. Write the past simple form of the verbs in the box in your notebook. Then, which verbs are regular? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, go, like, see, get, start, read, say, wish, come, and hate. This is the past simple for the present tense. Go, went. Like, liked. See, saw. Get, got. Start, started. Read, read. Sorry. Typing error there. Say, said. Wish, wished. Come, came. Hate, hated. Then which verbs are regular? Okay, which verbs and which one are regular? Of course, like, started, wished, and hated. Very well. Okay, exercise number 5. Correct the sentences about the writer Suzanne Collins. Use the words in brackets. Okay, for example, she liked dancing when she was 11. Okay, in the bracket, actually, she didn't like dancing, but she liked reading. So, how can you change it? Okay, there the answer, okay, the example of the answer in italic. She didn't like dancing when she was 11. She liked reading. Okay, notice or not, the word reading never change. Okay, but you just put ed to the verb. Okay, to show it's past. It is in past tense. Okay, why is it in past tense? Because of the word she was 11. We assume that she is now around 40s, okay, or 45 something. Okay. Next, number 1. She lived in New York for 18 years, but actually she lived in New York for 16 years. How can we make it into a correct sentence? Yeah, she didn't live in New York for 18 years. She lived there for 16 years. Notice or not on the the unchanged verbs for this one and here. Okay, this is the word live, and at the second sentence you put ed, but at the first one you don't put ed because of the infinite form of didn't. Okay, number 2. She grew up in the same place. Actually, in a different place. In a different places. Okay, how can we make it into a correct sentence? She didn't grow up in the same place. She grew up in different places. Okay, number 3. She started writing for children's television in 1992. Actually, it was in 1991. So, the correct sentence, she didn't start writing for children's television in 1992. She started writing in 1991. Number 4. Her books, The Hunger Games trilogy, were successful in one country. No, the answer is a lot of countries. So, these are the correct answers or the correct sentence. Her books, The Hunger Games, weren't successful in one country, but were successful in a lot of countries. Okay. The word change was weren't, okay, not the successful. Again, the verbs remain the same. Next, question number 5. She wrote a book about a character called Gregor and his little brother. No, actually, it was little sister. So how can we correct this sentence? Yes, she didn't write a book about a character called Gregor and his little brother, but she wrote about Gregor and his little sister. Okay, now you understand on the correct usage of didn't and did. Okay, as for question, did you like? Then only you put ed there. But when you use the infinite form of didn't, did and t, the verbs remain the same. Okay, remember on that? Here. Okay, so exercise 6. That is the second last exercise before we end the lesson today. Complete the book review with the past simple form of the verbs in brackets. Number 1. Okay, they give there the example. My brother gave me The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins for my birthday. Okay, remember the passage is written in the past, so the answer will be all in the past tense. Okay, number 2. I did not think. Okay, how can we answer question number 2? Yes, I didn't think I would like it, but as soon as I, okay, the word in bracket shows start. Okay, as I started reading it, I love it. Okay, number 5, I not want. So, in past tense, we use did not. Yes, didn't want. It to end. Okay, notice or not? The verb never change. Okay, think and want. You don't put thought or wanted. That is wrong. So, number 6, I, this you can change into a irregular verb. That is, I thought the story which takes place in the future was very original. This book had an unusual theme. I found the main character, Katniss Everdeen, very believable, and I really wanted her to win the Hunger Games competition. The story was so exciting that I stayed up all night to finish it. Some people not like, that's mean, didn't like the book because they said there was too much fighting in it, but I disagree. I can't wait to read the next book in the series. Okay, that is the answers for all questions. Okay, a little bit trivia about the author named Suzanne Collins. Okay, she was born in Connecticut, the USA in 1962. She is a writer for children's television and author of The Underland Chronicles, a series of 5 books published between 2003 and 2007, and the Hunger Games trilogy published between 2008 and 2010. Okay, next, let's check on exercise number 7. That is the last exercise for this topic. Time expressions. Okay, remember the time expressions we learned is about ago. Okay, yang lalu dalam bahasa Melayu. Rewrite the sentences so they are true for you. Change the time expressions in bold. Maksudnya, tulis semula perkataan di bawah ni yang menunjukkan ianya benar ataupun betul untuk awak. You may change, okay, the words in bold, okay, with the other time expressions. Okay, I choose my own sentence or my own time expressions as in number 1. I sent her a text message 2 hours ago. Make sense? Yes. Number 2. I had something to eat half an hour ago, but I changed it into a few hours ago. Still makes sense? Number 3. I tidied my bedroom 2 days ago. Number 4. I saw a good film a week ago. Still makes sense? And number 5. I bought some new shoes 2 months ago. Again, it still makes sense. Okay. What does it mean, or the definition for the time expression? In English language, I mean, ago comes after time expressions. That, for example, that book came out 2 years ago. I sent you an email a few minutes ago. Maksudnya yang lalu. Perkataan ago ni biasanya datang selepas ayat ataupun perkataan yang menunjukkan ekspresif masa. 2 jam yang lalu. 3 hari yang lalu. Kan? Okay, yang lalu, yang sudah berlalu. Okay, and of course, it is written in past tense. Next, is the word order the same in your language? Yeah. Okay, in bahasa Melayu, for example, let's take I sent you an email a few minutes ago. Okay, it's written, saya telah hantar email kepada kamu 2 minit yang lalu. Ya, the word order. Maksudnya, susunan perkataan sama dalam bahasa kita, dalam bahasa Melayu itu sendiri. Okay. Yeah, that is the end of the lesson. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching on my YouTube channel. I hope that you gain something from the lessons today. And as you can see on your screen, this will be our exercise. Okay, and we will do it during our next class. Okay, and during our next meeting, insyaAllah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you again.